guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another palette ranking video. I did one of these for my entire collection not quite a year ago, and it actually did pretty well for my small little channel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rank 10 eyeshadow palettes for you, but they are all neutral. Stick around and see what my thoughts are on all of these palettes. I've got 10 of them here, and we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So at number 10, I have the ColourPop Going Coconuts palette. This is a newer palette to me, but I said in a recent couple of videos, I've been hating on this palette, you guys. And everybody loves it, but I don't like the shimmers in here. I don't care for them. I think that they are really they're really crumbly and almost flaky like baklava. What I found though is that I can make these work if I foil them. I tend to like them a whole lot better. Now, I don't necessarily mind a powdery formula, which I found with these shades, but for something that was so hyped up here on YouTube, I was a little bit let down. And maybe that's my own fault. Maybe my own expectations were just set too high. I'm not sure. Number 9 is going to be the newer Dominique Cosmetics Latte 2 palette. This palette is not, in my opinion, as good as the original. Also, you might be saying, this isn't neutral, it has color in it. Well, if you kind of cover up those shades, this is gonna have some, it's neutral. It's neutral with a couple of pops of color. Also, something that I realized is, if you take this palette and you cover up the colors, they're almost the same exact palette. So I am kind of finding myself a little bit regretful in that there's a redundancy going on here. I am not a huge fan of either one of these shimmer formulas. Honestly, the mattes in the Going Coconuts palette I find to be better, more blendable. They do kind of blend away a little bit, but I don't mind starting out slow and building it up. The Dominique Cosmetics mattes in this palette I found to be patchy, which I did not find in the ColourPop palette. So if you know you really like the ColourPop 9-pan formula and you've been thinking about getting this, I mean, this palette rather is also missing a mid-tone brown to do some work with. So if you've got medium skin, if you want a setting color or what, you're kind of out of luck. So $12 versus $42. Was this worth $12? Yes, I think that at this price point, I was happy with it. This I bought at launch along with the glosses. I was so much more impressed with the glosses than I was the palettes. This is kind of just a meh palette for me. I was really drawn to the color store. I was kind of let down with some of the performances. Compared to the original, I feel like the mattes, it's just not as creamy, especially the shimmers. Although this shade Drizzle right here is a really good gold, and I really like it. That doesn't mean I don't use it. Just when I'm comparing all my neutral palettes like I am right now, this is not going to be high up on the list. Number 8 is going to be the e.l.f. Bite Size Eyeshadow Quad in Truffles. This is so... Okay, what am I trying to say? These were such a pleasant surprise. These are just new to the market, and I'm having so much fun. This is the more cooler toned of the two that I have, and I am super impressed, especially with the shimmers, how much payoff you get. I think they do remind me of the Natasha Denona mini palettes, which I did not get because I saw these and I tried them out and I liked them enough to maybe not even get Natasha Denona. I don't know, I'll probably get Natasha Denona. These are better than a $3 price tag that I think they come with. Number 7 is the same thing, but in the shade Cream and Sugar. This is a more everyday palette for me. I think I find myself using these shimmers and a little bit more. Now, what I actually end up doing is using both of these together, because if you notice, Cream and Sugar, this is a lid setter shade for me here on the end, and there's really not a transition shade. Do you need a transition shade? No, but if you really want one, get both of these, because this brown right here, these two together are fantastic. Okay, number 6 is a Bento Bouncy Eye Trio from Kaja. It is the shade Toasted Caramel. Now, I put this further down on my list because it does not have any mattes. You've got a gold, a bronze, well, I would call that like caramel bronze, and then a chocolate. Now, I bought this to go with other palettes. And I'm not disappointed in this at all. But I am not one that does all shimmer looks on the regular. So I put that way down there because for my personal opinion, it's nothing about quality. It's just I would prefer a one matte. One matte would have been great. But for $21, I'm really impressed with these shadows. I love the idea of these, especially traveling with these. These are so convenient. Number 5 is going to be my Anastasia Sultry palette. I originally did not want to get this palette. And then I was in Ulta and I swatched it and I saw it and I fell in love with it. This is my go-to for cool tone looks, or just like I've used this several times for events as well. You can go warm or cool. I know this is more of like a traditional cool tone palette, but this is not a cool tone shade. This is not a cool tone shade. And some of these shimmers are not cool tone shades. They're warm. You can do both. I think this is a really great overall neutral palette because it's got both things that you need. If you can manage to still pick this up somewhere, I would highly recommend it. Because I think, isn't it discontinued now? I'm not sure. But I have it, so I have to rank it. Number 4 is also going to be Anastasia Beverly Hills. These are the only 2 Anastasia palettes that I've kept. I've only ever had 3. So I got rid of Norvina. Anyway, Soft Glam. I am so glad that they got rid of this nasty velvet packaging. It is cute, but it is not cute after you've used it 3 times and you've gotten shadow on it. This is another one that I was completely surprised by. You can see how much I love it. I had points or I had a gift card. And I ended up getting this, and I love this. I love this. Not only does the color story really speak to me, the quality is great. This is what I am looking for in a shimmer, especially the shade Glistening right here. It is buttery, it is smooth. I don't like fallouty, flaky, necessarily all that glimmery shimmers. I like smooth and buttery, and these are where it's at. I can decide if I want to just look stunning and I don't want to take a whole lot of time to do it, this is where it's at. Why am I like doing this? I don't understand why I'm covering up my mouth. This kind of I thought was like pretty basic when I first saw it, but I changed my mind. I bought it and I love it. I'm a warm tone girl. These are lots of warm tone shades. These are all warm tone shades, let's be honest. And she's gonna stay in my collection. Probably forever. Number 3 is gonna be the original Latte palette from Dominique Cosmetics. This palette ended up being my number 1 in terms of quality in my last ranking eyeshadow palettes video. I don't really use the purple and the blue all that much unless I'm like, I don't know. Honestly, I kind of think that those 2 shade colors in this warm tone palette are pretty odd in terms of choice. But if you cover it up, look at that. I really do think that you kind of do get the same lid. I'm looking at the mirror, sorry. The same color on the lid when you sheer out these 3 shimmers, which is why I use this one most of the time. But these are so creamy. They're so good. The shimmers in here feel nothing like the shimmers in here. I think the shimmers in the Latte 2 palette, with the exception of that gold, are, well, so the other 2 are really like, they're really gritty. These are not, and I love her so much. This is also one of those palettes where if you want to just do a really good look really quickly, you can do this. I end up using this for work all the time. Well, when I did work, and then I had a baby. Number 2, okay, I'll be honest. I already filmed this video once, and The footage was kind of corrupted, plus I kept getting interrupted. And this, I changed some stuff. I had this at number 1, but now I'm like, Rachel, you be honest. This is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. I'm gonna try not to flash you with this mirror because it is humongous. It's huge. It's the size of Alaska. Okay, I love this palette, you guys. I love it. 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 There are mostly warm tones in here. There is a cool tone row here at the bottom. However, I love the quality of this, but let's be honest, with Natasha Denona shadows, for the price you get, when you find flaws, you're like, I paid how much? So let me tell you what the flaws are. First of all, this palette cost me $129, but it was a birthday gift because I had a gift card. However, I will tell you, this shade here is probably a topper shade. It's not actually a shimmer. You have one lighter tone shimmer and one darker shimmer. They're both warm. You have a cool tone row of eyeshadows and you don't have a shimmer that is cool toned. So if you want to do a cool tone look, you're either going to have to add in a warm tone shimmer, or you're gonna have to reach into another palette, which for $129, I don't want to do that. I do like the fact that you have powdered mattes and then you have like a cream to powder formula in these mattes, especially with these darker shades. Cream to matte I think is really, really nice because you don't get a lot of fallout. What would I have wanted instead? I would have wanted that shimmer, like I said, like you have in the Sultry palette. That shimmer, that silver that you see is not actually a very cool tone shimmer. It's really either neutral to warm, if you can believe it or not. Or, looky here. Look at Elf. That shade would have gone really great in here too. So, I'm honestly a warm tone shadow person. So it doesn't really bother me that much because I wouldn't be reaching for these shadows all that often anyway. But it's really expensive and I think it has several ways that it can improve itself. Quality, great. Color story, probably not. One shade, that's all I'm asking. We could have gotten rid of one of these browns. They're not exactly the same, but redundant. And put in that shimmer, and then this palette would have been... But as much as I reach for this palette, that's why it's at number 2. So what is my number 1 choice? It is another Kaja trio. And this is the shade Chocolate Dahlia. This, I originally bought this to go with this because I thought I was going to like this way more. I was wrong. This is what I have on my eyes today. If you can see, I went really light and neutral. It has this is like a pinkier toned shimmer, which when I first saw this, I was like, pink and like neutral brown, what? Yeah, it goes great together. There's your transition shade and there's your deeper shade. I love this little trio thing here. I like the formula. I do find that with these shimmers with Kaja, I do get fallout, so I tend to use a glitter glue and foil them. But that's okay in my opinion. It's not like the shimmers in here that are like, I don't know, like sliding off in flaky layers. This is my go-to everyday thing that I wear besides like my Super Shock shadows that I have or like my singles, like my Hourglass singles. And this is perfect for me to travel with. It can be a whole look if you just want a light everyday makeup look. It is so versatile. It is only 21 bucks. You can find, I got this at Sephora. And I'm in love with it. And I think I ended up getting this on the recommendation of Julia Adams, MUA, here on YouTube. So I think if I can find her video where she uses this, I'll link this below. But this is my top pick for neutral shadows because you got all you need. And this is not going to be... Okay, let me say this. If you want something that is going to give you variety, and if you sit down and you don't know what you want to do, I would choose any one of these larger palettes that I have. But if you are needing something that is good quality, quick out the door and easy, like I am on most of my days, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and honestly, what you see here took all day to do because I'm constantly in demand. It's gonna be your best friend. So those are my 10 neutral palettes that I have ranked from 0 to 1. 0? From 10 to 1. Let me know what you think about these palettes. If I made a critique of something here that you have figured out how to use, let me know. Tell me what your favorite neutral eyeshadow palette is, or if it's a single, let me know. I would love to explore that myself. If you liked this video today, if you liked ranking palettes, things like that, seeing my eyeshadow palettes, if it's a thing that's up your alley like it is mine, give this video a thumbs up to let me know you want me to do this again in the future. Don't forget, subscribe before you leave so that you can get notified of all my new uploads. Stick around on my channel and see what other kind of videos I have made for your YouTube entertainment pleasure. Be kind to yourself out there today, folks, and I will catch you later.